Smooth muscle cells by Lauren and Naya. The main function of smooth muscle cells is contraction. Smooth muscle consists of two types, single unit and multi-unit. Single unit consists of multiple cells connected through connexons that can become stimulated in synchronous patterns from only one sympathetic unit.
Connections, also known as gap junction proteins. They allow cell-to-cell communication between groups of single-unit smooth muscle cells. This intercellular communication allows ions molecules to diffuse between cells, rising calcium waves. By creating gap junctions, depolarization of the cell can happen rapidly. Depolarization is when the cell undergoes a shift in charge distribution.
Eosinophilic cytoplasm. This means that eosin, a protein-based dye, will react with the protein suspended within the cytoplasm and stain the proteins pink.
Myofilates. These proteins are actin and myosin and are responsible for cell movement through myosin-actin cycling.
Shape and structure of smooth muscle cells. The shape of smooth muscle is fusiform, which is round at the center and tapering at each end. Smooth muscle can tense and relax, but has greater elastic properties than striated muscle. The smooth muscle cells contain contractile filaments, actin and myosin, and cytoskeleton filaments as well.
The nucleus is found in an angulated shape, similar to the shape of a cigar. Unlike skeletal muscle cells, smooth muscle cells have only one nucleus, not multiple. Two cones extend from the poles of the nucleus and extend into the axis of the cell. Mitochondria and tubulus of the smooth ER make up these cones. The other organelles within smooth muscle cells are not very dominant. For example, the Golgi body is pretty small in size as well as the rough ER.
Smooth muscle cells are non-striated. The actin and myosin filaments are arranged in a way that creates the non-striated pattern. There is half as many myosin proteins in the smooth muscle cells than there are in skeletal and cardiac muscle cells. This contributes to the smoothness of these cells as well. Here is an image of smooth muscle cells. Dense bodies are anchoring sites for actin filaments, and intermediate filaments are components for the structure of the cytoskeleton.
Because organs' volume largely changes, smooth muscle cells must have large functional strength range. Actin in thin filament and myosin is a thick filament.
Essential functions. The essential function of smooth muscle cells is contraction.
Involuntary. The action of myosin filaments also are the primary proteins involved in muscle contraction. To create the contraction, the myosin and actin filaments go through a process called myosin-actin cycling.
In this process, myosin reaches and bonds to the actin filament, then contracts, then releases the actin, and bonds to a new actin filament in a new cycle. Here's an image of the smooth muscle cells lining the inside of a blood vessel. Where are they located and the function within the body? Smooth muscle cells line internal organs and blood vessels within the human body.
Stomach and intestines, where it helps to digestion and nutrient collection.
Urinary system, where it functions to help get rid of the body of toxins and works in electrolyte balance.
Arteries and veins. It plays a vital role in the regulation of blood pressure and tissue oxygenation.
Without these vital functions, the body would not be able to maintain even the most basic functions. Smooth muscle cells are arranged in sheets. These cells arrange themselves side by side with the narrow end lined up with the center and thicker part of the other cell. Although the cells are close together, they do not actually touch, as there is collagen within the spaces.